Have you ever considered that your morning rituals could be the key to longevity, allowing you to not only live to 90, but surpass that milestone? This claim might seem incredible, but there's substantial evidence that morning habits significantly impact both the length and quality of life. Many people may unknowingly undermine their chances for a long and healthy life by engaging in certain activities each morning. We'll discuss 7 morning habits common among those who regularly celebrate their 90th birthday and beyond. Interestingly, habit number 4, which takes only half a minute, can significantly increase lifespan. These are secrets that doctors don't always talk about, but their effectiveness is supported by numerous studies. Consider Walter as an example. At 65, he watched his friends begin to face serious health problems like cardiovascular disease, cognitive impairment, and reduced mobility. Today, Walter is 93 and still leads an active life, living independently, driving, and even volunteering 3 times a week at a local garden. What's his secret? It's not genetic predisposition, as most of his relatives didn't live past 75. The turning point in his life was discovering and implementing 7 specific morning habits after attending a health seminar at 65. These seemingly minor changes dramatically impacted his health. While his peers suffered from illnesses, Walter continued to enjoy life. When asked what made the difference, he unhesitatingly said it was his morning routine. "What I do in the first hour after waking up saved my life," he confessed. And now, his secrets will be revealed. Are you ready to learn about the morning habits that can transform your health after 60? The first beneficial habit to emulate is immediate hydration. Are you aware of what happens in the body if you don't drink any water in the morning? The blood becomes thicker, putting extra strain on the heart and brain. People who live long lives start their day not by checking notifications on their smartphones or watching TV, but by drinking water. The timing is crucial. Leading nephrology experts and longevity researchers from Harvard Medical School have found that nighttime dehydration accelerates aging by as much as 31%. Dr. Jessica Rothman, head of kidney health studies at Harvard, explains that the body gradually loses moisture during sleep, leading to what's known as morning blood thickening. As a result, the heart has to work harder, and small blood vessels in the brain and kidneys are damaged. These damages, accumulating over time, significantly speed up the aging process. Consider Sylvia's story. At 72, she suffered from chronic kidney disease, constant fatigue, and memory problems. Doctors considered dialysis, but when she started drinking 1,500 milliliters of water immediately after waking up, without even getting out of bed, her kidney function improved by 28% in just 2 months. Sylvia said her doctor was amazed by the positive changes in her blood tests and asked what medications she was taking. Sylvia replied that the only thing she was doing was drinking water right after waking up. Let's discuss 2 simple yet effective habits that can positively influence health and longevity. The first is drinking a glass of water immediately after waking up. Starting tomorrow, make it a rule to keep a full glass of water by your bed and drink it first thing after opening your eyes, before even getting out of bed. It should be water, not coffee or tea, preferably at room temperature to avoid stressing the body. Like brushing your teeth, this should become an essential part of your morning ritual. After a night's sleep, the body desperately needs hydration, so don't make it wait. By committing to this simple habit, you can significantly improve the function of your kidneys and cardiovascular system. It's worth noting that long-lived people worldwide consider this not just desirable, but a vital necessity. If you're not already doing this, tomorrow morning can be the starting point for positive change. The second habit involves exposure to natural morning light. Many people may unknowingly disrupt their circadian rhythms every morning. Failing to get enough natural light within 30 minutes of waking up means missing out on one of the most powerful longevity factors scientists have identified. Research from the National Institute on Aging shows that morning, sunlight exposure for half an hour after waking increases melatonin production by 73% throughout the day. Dr. Andrew Peterson, a leading researcher in circadian health and aging, emphasizes that morning sunlight triggers a cascade of hormonal processes that determine sleep quality, metabolism, and even cognitive function for the next 24 hours. Ignoring this morning light signal is associated with a 37% increased risk of developing neurodegenerative diseases after age 70. Consider the case of Benjamin, a man who, at the age of 75, faced years of chronic insomnia. He tried many remedies, from strong sleeping pills to expensive dietary supplements, but none provided lasting relief. Then his doctor suggested a simple solution: spend just 10 minutes outdoors immediately after waking, regardless of the weather. Within 2 weeks, Benjamin noticed significant improvements. He began to fall asleep faster and sleep longer. However, the most surprising thing for him was the unexpected side effects. My blood pressure dropped by 15 points, and my afternoon fatigue completely disappeared. And all this because I simply sat on the veranda with my morning cup of coffee instead of staying indoors. Don't delay incorporating this beneficial habit into your life. Tomorrow morning, make it a goal to get your dose of natural sunlight within 30 minutes of waking. Even on cloudy days, outdoor light is dozens of times brighter than indoor light and contains wavelengths vital for the brain. If you have mobility issues, simply sitting by an open window will be beneficial. In the winter months or inclement weather, special medical light therapy lamps can be used as a supplement, but natural light is always preferable. This is not just about improving sleep, but also about resetting your biological clock, which helps slow down aging processes at the cellular level. Are you ready to give your body such a gift tomorrow morning? What could prevent you from going outside? Your body is literally waiting for this signal to optimize its health and functioning. The third beneficial habit that can affect the condition of joints in old age is performing light physical exercises before the first morning meal. A common mistake is remaining still until breakfast, which inadvertently provokes inflammatory processes that accelerate joint degeneration. Studies conducted by rheumatologists from the famous Mayo Clinic have revealed that performing light morning exercises can slow down joint destruction in older adults by almost 2/3. Dr. Lisa Moanro, who heads the Department of Geriatric Medicine at the clinic, emphasizes that morning physical activity on an empty stomach triggers the process of autophagy, a kind of cellular cleaning that is crucial for maintaining joint health for many years. Scientists have recorded significant differences in inflammation indicators in older adults who exercise before breakfast and those who prefer to eat first. The story of 68-year-old Harriet serves as a vivid example of the effectiveness of this approach. After years of struggling with excruciating knee pain caused by arthritis, she was scheduled for a joint replacement surgery. As a last attempt to avoid surgery, a physical therapist advised her to perform a 7-minute set of light exercises immediately after waking up before eating. After 3 months, Harriet's knee pain significantly decreased, and the surgeon canceled the operation. According to the woman, she had already resigned herself to the fact that her active life had come to an end, but thanks to these simple morning exercises, she regained the opportunity to play with her grandchildren. Tomorrow morning can be the beginning of a new chapter in your body's history. Imagine, immediately after waking up and drinking a glass of water, but before the first sip of coffee or meal, just 5 to 10 minutes are devoted to gentle, pleasant movements that awaken each joint. This is not an exhausting workout, but rather a dance full of lightness and grace. Start with small circular movements of the ankles, as if drawing invisible patterns in the air. Then move on to the knees, hips, shoulders, and wrists, allowing each joint to feel a surge of new energy. Stand up and gently sway from side to side, like a tree gently swaying in the wind. If flexibility allows, try reaching for your toes, or simply bend forward slightly, feeling the muscles in your back stretch. The key is continuous and easy movements that awaken your joints and muscles after a night's sleep. Do you notice stiffness in your body in the mornings? This is an important signal that should not be ignored. It's a small window of opportunity that activates longevity pathways that remain dormant if the morning starts with inactivity. Are you willing to dedicate just a few minutes tomorrow to ensure your joints are protected for decades to come? Imagine how easily and freely you'll move at 85 or even 90. This isn't a happy accident related to genetic predisposition, but the result of consistently performing this simple morning ritual. Will you join those who choose active longevity? The fourth beneficial habit we'll discuss is breathing exercises. By dedicating just 30 seconds a day to mindful breathing, you can achieve amazing results in maintaining longevity. This simple yet incredibly effective technique is an integral part of the lives of many people who have passed the 90-year mark, yet unfortunately, it goes unnoticed by most. Consider that how your morning starts and what breathing practices you use directly affects your stress levels throughout the day, which can ultimately affect your lifespan. Studies conducted in so-called blue zones, regions of the planet where people regularly live to be 100 years old or more, have shown that long livers practice certain breathing techniques that reduce cellular stress by almost half, up to 48%. Dr. Michael Coyne, who dedicated his scientific work to studying longevity practices in Sardinia, Italy, notes significant differences in inflammation markers and stress hormone levels between those who regularly perform mindful morning breathing exercises and those who neglect this practice. According to experts, such a short but regular practice activates the vagus nerve, a kind of conductor between the brain and the body, sending a signal to switch from survival mode to longevity mode. In the picturesque mountain villages of Sardinia, where longevity among men is becoming a pleasant commonplace, researcher Douglas witnessed an interesting morning custom among local patriarchs. Every morning before starting any work, these respected elders would go out into the fresh air and perform a series of deep, measured breaths. Researchers, intrigued by this phenomenon, conducted measurements of heart rate variability and cortisol levels in these long livers. The results were striking. The health indicators of these elderly people corresponded to parameters characteristic of much younger people. One 90-year-old shepherd, sharing his secrets of longevity, explained, "I start my day with breathing exercises to prepare my body for an active and productive day. If I neglect this ritual, by noon, I feel a decline in strength and a decrease in clarity of thought." A simple but potentially transformative practice is suggested, taking only 30 seconds. Immediately after your morning glass of water, and preferably in natural light, it is recommended to perform the 4-7-8 breathing technique. It consists of the following. Quietly inhale through the nose for 4 seconds. Then hold your breath for 7 seconds, and finally, completely exhale through the mouth for 8 seconds, making a shish sound. This cycle should be repeated 3 to 4 times, just half a minute to send a signal to the body to activate longevity mechanisms, not stress responses. It may seem incredible that such a simple practice can be so effective, but scientific evidence suggests otherwise. Studies show that this short breathing technique has a tangible effect on blood pressure, inflammation levels, and stress hormones. Is it worth spending these 30 seconds tomorrow morning? This may be the most profitable investment in your health. Interestingly, is the reader breathing fully at the moment while reading this text? Most likely not. Most people breathe shallowly, using only about 30% of their lung capacity. Start changing this unhealthy pattern tomorrow morning, and your body will thank you for it. The fifth beneficial habit to consider is a breakfast rich in protein and fiber. Often, it is the morning meal that subtly undermines a person's desire for longevity. The fact is that the traditional American breakfast, as a rule, accelerates the aging process, and many people realize this only when it is too late. Gerontologists specializing in nutrition have identified certain breakfast patterns characteristic of long livers, which can reduce inflammation markers in the body by as much as 53%. Dr. Valerie Richardson, a leading researcher at the Institute for Longevity Nutrition, emphasizes that the first meal of the day significantly determines metabolic processes, influencing all aspects of health, from insulin sensitivity to levels of microinflammation. Studies show that a morning diet including at least 25 grams of protein and 8 grams of fiber creates a favorable metabolic environment, promoting cell repair rather than damage. As an example, consider Gerald's story. At age 68, he was diagnosed with prediabetes, and his inflammation markers were elevated despite not being overweight. Doctors predicted the development of diabetes within the next 2 years. However, instead of immediately resorting to medication, Gerald decided to change his breakfast after consulting a nutritionist. He replaced his usual toast and coffee with a breakfast rich in protein and fiber. Within 6 months, his blood test results completely normalized. The only thing I changed was my breakfast, Gerald noted. My doctor was amazed that negative trends could be reversed simply by changing one meal. For those seeking longevity, there is a specific formula for the morning meal. It involves combining high-quality protein, whether it be eggs, Greek yogurt, or plant-based alternatives, with fiber-rich foods such as berries, chia seeds, oats, or vegetables. An important addition is healthy fats, found in avocados, nuts, or olive oil. It is recommended to avoid refined carbohydrates in the first half of the day, as they provoke insulin spikes, accelerating the aging process. Implementing these changes in the morning diet does not require additional time, but only involves adjusting the composition of the usual breakfast. This approach allows for the activation of longevity mechanisms instead of stimulating inflammatory processes in the body. It is worth considering whether the health risks in adulthood are justified if one continues to adhere to old eating habits. Transitioning to a new diet as early as tomorrow can bring tangible positive changes in well-being within a few days. The choice made regarding tomorrow's breakfast may seem insignificant, but its cumulative effect over the years will have a significant impact on health and lifespan. Another important component of a morning routine that contributes to longevity is social interaction. Meaningful human connections are a powerful tool, surpassing many life extension supplements in their impact. Isolation has as negative an effect on the body as smoking 15 cigarettes a day. Moreover, the timing of social interaction is as important as the interaction itself. A large-scale Harvard study conducted over 80 years showed that morning social contacts have a more significant impact on lifespan than quitting smoking or exercising. Dr. Robert Miller, who led the final stage of this long-term study, noted that participants who maintained meaningful social contacts in the first half of the day had a 29% lower mortality rate from all causes during the observation period. Morning social interaction promotes the formation of neurotransmitter patterns that have beneficial effects on cardiovascular and immune functions throughout the day. In the Japanese settlement of Okinawa, famous for its long-lived residents, researcher Nancy noted one remarkable detail in the lives of the local elders. Every morning, the villagers found time for short meetings and conversations, sometimes lasting only a few minutes. One venerable 97-year-old resident shared her experience. If the morning did not begin with a conversation with someone, the whole day felt somehow wrong. These morning meetings became a kind of check on each other's well-being, which, in her opinion, contributed to their longevity. Researchers, after analyzing inflammation markers in this woman and comparing them with those of elderly people living in social isolation, found a striking difference. This difference in indicators was equivalent to a biological difference of several decades. To bring this important habit into your life, you can start by making a short morning call to a friend or relative. Even 3 minutes of conversation can have a positive impact. If you don't live alone, create a meaningful morning communication ritual instead of just passing each other by like strangers. For those who live alone, organize regular morning meetings with neighbors or friends, even if only once a week. If that's not possible, even a friendly exchange of a few words with a barista or a shop assistant can activate the same biological benefits. The key is to make communication with people an integral part of your morning, as essential as brushing your teeth. The question arises, are you ready to prioritize this as early as tomorrow? The human body needs it as much as it needs vitamins or exercise. Who will you connect with tomorrow morning? The body is waiting for this important signal to trigger processes that promote longevity. The seventh mental habit common among long-lived individuals is the conscious cultivation of gratitude. Not just a superficial be grateful for everything, but a very specific ritual that, as it turns out, can awaken processes in the body associated with longevity. Studies conducted by neuroscientists at Yale University have shown that morning gratitude exercises cause tangible changes in the structure of the brain susceptible to age-related changes and also help reduce levels of cortisol, the stress hormone, by as much as 23%. Dr. Sarah Jenkins, an expert in neuroplasticity in older adults, notes the amazing metamorphoses occurring in the brain. Using functional magnetic resonance imaging, we observe how the brains of older people who regularly practice directed gratitude in the morning undergo changes. The prefrontal cortex, the area of the brain responsible for decision-making and emotional stability, shows increased activity, resembling the brain of a much younger person. However, the time factor plays a key role here. The beneficial effects of gratitude are most pronounced when practiced within the first hour after waking. The impressive story of Patricia serves as a compelling example of the effectiveness of gratitude. At the age of 74, she faced hypertension resistant to traditional treatments, which caused serious concern for her cardiologist regarding her heart function. After discovering scientific research dedicated to gratitude, Patricia incorporated a simple morning practice into her life, focusing on appreciation for her body and overall health. In just 3 months of this practice, her blood pressure stabilized, and her heart rate variability, a crucial indicator of cardiovascular health, improved by as much as 31%. My attending physician inquired about what medications I had started taking or changed, says Patricia. When I explained that the reason lay only in a morning shift in thinking, he was skeptical until he saw the sustained positive changes in the indicators over time. The essence of the practice that transformed Patricia's health is as follows. Immediately after performing breathing exercises, place your hand on the heart area and name 3 specific parts of the body for which you feel gratitude, explaining the reasons in detail. For example, you can express appreciation to your eyes for the opportunity to see the faces of your beloved grandchildren, to your legs for continuing to carry you where you need to go, and to your heart for its faithful and tireless work over the years. The key is to be specific and direct gratitude specifically to the body and not to external circumstances. It is important to emphasize that this is not just a manifestation of magical thinking, but a scientifically confirmed change in the functioning of the nervous system, affecting the level of inflammation and the body's immune response. It is worth considering trying this 2-minute practice as early as tomorrow morning. It requires no financial costs, special equipment, and can actually extend your years of life. Ask yourself, have you expressed gratitude to your body today for everything it does for you, or is your attention focused solely on its shortcomings? Remember that your perspective can literally change your physiology. 7 morning rituals possessing incredible power are capable of rejuvenating the body after the age of 60 and opening the door to the world of long-lived individuals whose age has exceeded 90. It is not necessary to strive for perfection. It is enough to integrate at least 3 of these practices to direct the course of life into a channel of health and vigor. Let us recall the story of Walter, whose journey began with just 2 habits, gradually acquiring new beneficial rituals. The main thing is to take the first step towards change as early as tomorrow, without waiting for the mythical ideal moment that will never come. The morning hours, like a skilled programmer, lay the foundation for the future, either the flourishing of youth or the fading of old age. The choice is yours. These habits are not a whim, but a vital necessity for those who dream not just of making it to 90, but of meeting this venerable age with unquenchable energy, crystal clarity of mind, and a sense of fullness of life. So, which of these 7 morning rituals are you ready to bring to life tomorrow morning? Your future self is looking hopefully at the decision you make here and now.